This week on the Born to Be Dope show, we're talking to Dr. Karim Ellis on how to GPS your success right after this.
Had a vision, they made a plan, put it into practice with the actions of my hands, put it into practice with my circle and my fam, had my bad before I became a businessman. This is the illest rhyme I ever wrote, said I was born to be dope. Come on. This is the illest rhyme I ever wrote, said I was born.
Welcome to another episode of Born to Be Dope. I am your host, Ryan C. Greene. So excited. This is the show where we celebrate being unapologetically great at being you. We combine hip hop and personal development in a way that helps you master, magnify, and monetize your unique dopeness for unlimited success in business and life. So I'm excited to talk to our guest today. Before we even get into the conversation with Dr. Karim, make sure you go ahead, click the like button, click the share button, subscribe, all those good things. No matter where you're watching, tell somebody else about the Born to Be Dope show. All right, so let's get right into it, man. Karim, let me not get too comfortable yet. I haven't formally introduced you yet. Dr. Karim Ellis, how are you, man?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, and I don't believe in complaining about it because I don't think I got anybody on my timeline or in my personal place and space that would care if I complain and gripe. So I'm blessed right now, brother. I can't complain.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You know, I love working with you, having you. People who have followed us for a while may be familiar with you. This is, you've been in 2 Born to Be Dope films. You even with us on the Make It Matter project. And listen, when I find someone who I can connect with on a mental level, on a spiritual level, just on a goal level, I keep those people around, right? You are a gentleman who lives what you say. You go out there and you have success. So I'm like, listen, this man, I'm sticking close to this guy. And I know you're a good person just from our interactions. I want to share you for a brief moment with my family and friends and those who are watching this show. So let's jump right in. Dr. Karim Ellis, you are a speaker, a keynote speaker. And I know you're always training and really helping people. Let's start from the beginning of this journey. Tell people, well, we'll start from the beginning of the journey, but let's just start with set the foundation here on your book is GPS My Success, and you really focusing on being a top performer and finding that success. Talk to us about what it is you specialize in and how that became your specialty.
So I love that, man. So I go by the moniker of the #1 breakthrough strategist. And as you can tell, breakthrough is all about helping other individuals uncover and discover the 2.0 version of themselves. I'm a huge iPhone fanatic. I've been sorry for the Android users out there, I've been team iPhone for a long time. We know iPhones have regularly scheduled updates, iOS this, iOS that. And so I believe that there's always another update waiting inside of our personal lives that's going to help us go and grow to the next level. My job as a breakthrough strategist is to go to individuals and organizations, whether national or international, and I help them discover the 2.0 version of themselves. That's by looking at your God-given gifts and talents, your expertise, most importantly, your connections. As you said earlier about being connected, success is 50% what you know, 50% who you know, and more importantly, what they know about you, right? So we take a look at the dynamic mixture of all those different things and figure out how do we unlock the person who you're designed to be, right? So I'll talk about default living versus design. Everyone comes onto this planet on default settings, but to be successful, you got to learn how to design your life. So we talk about how to design your life.
All right, wonderful. Now let's get into. I want to share some information, some of the concepts rather about designing your life, because I think that when you are deliberate about chasing your success, you understand then that you can't just go willy-nilly, right? You can't just go and hope that it's going to work out. You got to be deliberate about the actions you take. So as you are training, you're interacting with people and you're helping them find their success.
Yes.
What are some tips kind of to help them really, get on track and be deliberate about their journey?
Wow. So the first thing I'm going to say is setting the address aside the GPS. Now, I know I've talked about this concept so many different times. I'm going to take a little bit of a spin on it because we know a GPS is useless till you first know where you want to go. At this stage of the journey, I'm telling people to be more about purpose living versus just living day to day. Meaning when I get clear about the reason why I'm here, my God-given purpose, the reason why I've been put on this planet, then everything I do in life shifts dramatically because now I have to pay attention to the resources that I need for the journey. So one of the things I'm always talking about is what are you designed to do? That starts with what's my God-given gift and talent. From kindergarten to 12th grade, folks always focus on education. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. And I'm all for that. I do believe that you should get education while you're here. But Education is something you get from kindergarten to 12th grade. If you do college, 4 years, 6 years. If you're a career student, you may got 10 years, and sadly may love you because you keep taking out student debt. But a gift and talent is something you are born with. It's something you come onto this planet with. And so I tell most people, whatever your purpose is, a lot of times your gift and talent is the very thing God has given to you to help you walk that thing out. So first and foremost, I got to figure out my God-given gift and talent.
Awesome. Now, for those who, once you figure that out, because a lot of people, they may have a gift or a talent, but then it's like, how do I use this in a way that's going to, one, excite me, but then also make the impact on other people so that I can build something from that? What do you tell people in that situation once they figured out what they're talented at?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, number one, expand your vocabulary on what a gift and talent is. The reason why this is so important, I see a lot of people that have gifts and talents, but they don't think they can monetize it. And that's because the media has done a great job of training us what a gift and talent is. We get off work, we go home, we plop on the sofa, we pop a microwave dinner in for the lazy folks, and we watch TV for 4 to 6 hours before we go to bed. We see our favorite basketball player who we just know got signed for $4 million for dribbling the basketball. That football star who got signed for $2 million to play for the next 4 years because they can throw a football downfield. And so we think in our mind that's a gift and talent. Or we look at our favorite musician who just dropped an album out of nowhere, and they done raked in on a concert tour. They raked in $4 million on a concert tour. We think that's a gift and talent. The problem is those are gifts and talents, but the media showcases that when typically some of the most powerful dynamic gifts and talents on the planet are the intangible gifts. I'm talking about stuff like your creativity, leadership skills, things like that. So I want to be clear, number one, on what a gift and talent looks like. And then number two, are there models out there of individuals who share my unique gift and talent, and are they monetizing it? Like when I started out speaking, Ryan, I didn't start out speaking because I saw Les Brown and all these other great people and thought to myself, I can make $1 million doing it. The person I saw, which is going to sound so simplistic and probably stupid, was Michael Buffer. Anyone who's ever watched a fight, he gets paid $1 million to say, let's get ready to rumble. That was using the gift of communication and commanding it for a fee. So if I said, if he can get out there and say those minuscule words with his gift of communication and get paid, and I can communicate the same exact way, then that means that my gift and talent has monetizable ability as well. So I want to be clear that I can get paid to use my gift and talent like other folks out there, even if my gift is a little bit different than most.
Yeah, you know, I love that. And I was just speaking recently to a group, and we were talking about talents as well. And I just wasn't playing. I didn't know I was going to bring this up with you. But, you know, one gentleman mentioned that he coaches Little League. Another lady said she likes to make people laugh. You know, so those are gifts and talents that where, you know, you're coaching Little League, you're not thinking, okay, well, how can this translate to business or my purpose? But like I told him, I said, okay, so that means you know how to galvanize a group. You know how to motivate a team. You know how to get people together. That's a good skill. And like you said, an intangible skill. Making people laugh, I mean, come on, now, that can take you anywhere. So that's one of my gifts. Like when I speak, like I say, it's a lot of people who may be more rah-rah, they may be more sharp than me, whatever. But not many people gonna be more funny than me on stage. You know, that's my thing. Yeah. But you know, so you got to know those talents. So take us back to before Karim was out here on stages. You kind of started talking about getting into speaking. When you realized that was your gift, what was that journey like? Because there's a whole lot of people who know information, who may be experts in something. They may be able to talk and convey a message, but they're not necessarily speakers, or, you know, there's different kinds of speakers. So talk to us about how you found your lane, and then maybe give us a little information for those who are looking, say, I want to do a speaker. I want to do what he does. What kind of way they should go to kind of figure out which way they should take this journey.
Okay, so I love that question, man. And what I talk about when I talk about gifts and talents, I believe there's really 4 stages of development. One's identification of the gift, which is what do I do exceptionally well. 2 is mastery of the gift. That means I got to get real good at that skill set. Number 3 is the gift has to be planted in the right environment, because your gift and talent is not designed to operate everywhere. And then number 4, I have to be in the driver's seat or control of that gift. So with me, I was already a gifted communicator. As a child growing up, that's the thing I got in trouble for the most. I got in trouble for talking too much. My senior yearbook, which is sitting in front of me right now, ironically, my senior year, I was voted most talkative.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so I say that because a lot of times as kids growing up, we don't have discipline over our gift and talent. And so if I have a gift and talent that lacks discipline, it creates destruction. Right? A lot of people don't understand that. So I would get in trouble for talking too much. Not that the gift and talent was bad, but because I didn't know how to control it or use the gift and talent to talk about the right things versus the wrong things. I just got paid a little over 20 grand to speak to a group for 90 minutes because I was talking about the right thing, right? Versus the wrong thing. So with me, I had to figure out, number one, what was I passionate about? Because whatever you're passionate about, you can talk about that and involve yourself in that arena for hours. And so once I got clear on my passion, then to figure out what was the gift and talent that linked me to that passion. And then I had to figure out how do I master it. Now with me, Ryan, I found a good mentor. I found someone that took me under their wing and they shaped me and they taught me the correct usage of the gift and talent. A mentor, I believe, is the only shortcut you get in life. If you took me without me having the right mentor and you put me in front of audiences night after night, audiences of 5,000, 10,000 people, and I didn't have the mentor to shape me, I typically would lose my stronghold on that arena because I still have to know how to control the gift and talent. We see a lot of people that get rushed to the top without mastery and they lose the opportunities as quickly as they get it. So for me, I had to find someone who's going to discipline me and show me how to master that gift and talent.
Awesome. Now that means you gotta be coachable. I mean, I know in this day and age, everyone wants to be the expert. Everyone wants to be the head dog, the lead dog, the matinee, the headliner. So, talk. You know, when I don't. Let me put it this way, because I know you do a lot of coaching. So, what's one of the biggest obstacles, rather, that you see many clients come to you that you have to break down? Like, what's one of the main people come in to speak to say, hey, Karim, I want you to teach me. I want to be your student, but I know some stuff. So what's one or two of the things that you see speakers really have to you had to break down and change up in them?
Well, I love the fact that you said that a lot of folks want to perk and look like they're more successful than they really are. I see a lot of people where they create a trap for themselves, and that's due to social media. Because with social media, you can make yourself seem like you're a seasoned expert, a seasoned pro, and have very little time in the game. But smoke and mirror success is just that. There's a moment in time where the smoke gets blown away and the mirrors reflect the person that's standing in it, even if you were the unfinished product. And then that's what the world will eventually see. And so one of the things I tell a lot of people is you cannot conquer what you refuse to confront. The thing that people refuse to confront is themselves. Meaning I still got a ways to grow. I am 47 years young in this industry. I know I don't look like it. I'm in the gym all the time because health is wealth and we got to make sure we take care of the frame.
I definitely thought you were in your 30s, bro. I had no idea we're the same age. Now I feel bad. I'm like,
yeah, but here's the thing.
I definitely thought you were like 35.
Age, I still got mentors pouring into my cup because I don't have time to try to figure it all out on my own. If I want to go and grow to the next level, I got to make sure I'm still the dumbest person in the circles that I'm in.
Exactly.
If I'm the smartest person, that means I'm pouring out, but there's no one pouring into me. So I tell most people, you have to throw away the knowledge base you think you know. You have to be willing to be the dumbest person in the room. And most people have a challenge with that, believe that or not, because of social media success. Sometimes I think social media is the worst thing that can happen to serious people.
You know, you said so much there. I want to try to get to some of it because one, being that dumbest person in the room. I mean, like, listen, that right there, I think that's also one of my gifts. Like, I know, I think it comes from a confidence. When you know, when you're confident about your talent and your skill set and your purpose, your calling, then you're willing to say, okay, this is what I'm called to do. Then you're more willing to listen, you know, and be coachable. I'm wondering, as I'm thinking out loud, like, do we think that hubris that people will come in the door with, is it really a mask for some insecurities of, you know, not really having it all? Because we talk about social media, and other episode we had Shay Brown. If you guys didn't see that episode, go back and look at that episode, the sales guru. We talk difference in marketing and sales, right? A whole lot of people can get some fly marketing together. You can make your stuff look real good, but if you're not closing deals, then you're not making any money, right? You're being broke. So talk to us from the speaker perspective on, because your social media brand is on fire. I mean, every day you're posting something about speaking, and I'm like, I mean, and social proof. Shout out to David Shands for his podcast name, but social proof that you are what you say you are. So You know, why is that the game plan for you? Why did you go that route with this?
Well, I learned this back in the real estate days because I'm still an entrepreneur in real estate. When I first started out, I had a little something to prove. I had a little bit more of an ego than I had. I learned how to kill ego. It's a side note. You got to learn how to kill your ego before your ego kills your opportunities. And that's what I see happen with a lot of speakers. They come in with the full ego, and I go, your ego is killing your opportunities because you're not willing to humble yourself and then be in a position of learning. But social media proof is key. Why? Because we live in the age of the expert. People want the expert. The problem I have with a lot of speakers is a lot of speakers have the gift of communication, but they don't have the expertise developed yet. They don't have the social media proof that I'm speaking on these different platforms, these different stages. And what I've learned with a lot of speakers don't even know how to find corporate paying gigs. And so what you see happen with a lot of speakers is they go and get on paid platforms, meaning I'm gonna pay you $1,500, $2,000 to speak on your platform for 20 minutes. And I go, even when you do that, that's not getting you a corporate gig. Like no corporate event planners watching that virtual presentation saying you're the person I'm looking for. So that's another reason why I want a good mentor. A mentor fills in the gaps. I was always a great speaker. Like that's nothing new to me. I say a cheetah's gift and talents running 70 miles per hour. I've never seen a cheetah confused about a 70 mile per hour gift and speed. A cheetah knows what it does, right? But even with that gift of speed, a cheetah has to have the right education paired with that gift and talent to let it know what I should go after versus what I can go after, right? And so in my industry, there's a phrase that I have coined. Don't y'all try to steal this, but I say a lot of people guilty of what I call speaker hoeing. Y'all know what a hoe is.
Yeah.
A hoe is anyone and everyone. And if I'm a speaker hoe, that means I'm trying to get on any platform and every platform, but my message keeps changing every platform I get on because I'm so eager to get on stage. I'm talking about anything and everything. The world celebrates you because I know you as an expert at one thing. I'm the expert at breakthrough. You don't see me as being the expert at breakthrough and global change and weather, climate issues and pro-life issues. Like I'm not all over the map. If I talk about something, it's all going to revolve around the same place and space of my expertise, right? And I keep that expertise there at all times. So that's one of the things I would say off the bat, which is focus. But that mentorship helps that focus. So I'm not doing anything and everything. Yeah,
man. You know, I've been doing this thing for a minute, you know, speaking thing. And so I've just about every story a professional can tell you about what you don't do, what you should, I probably did them all, right? You know, so I've been through that journey. I think that's why I resonate with a lot of people too, because like I show my flaws and all. So my journey, you've seen where I've been. And one of the things you talk about that speaking on platforms, I'm just thinking from the mindset of where you know, because I feel like there's the right platforms there. Here's the thing. Because I think that's a big thing in the speaking industry now. Do I pay to play or what? I think that for those paid opportunities, you can't be doing it just because you want to get on stage and think I'm going to speak and everyone's going to see this and blow me up. You got to have a deliberate plan of action. Like you said, I'll use the GPS to how you want to use that opportunity because, you know, just like with anything, like if you got to know how it's going to benefit you. Sharing your message is one thing, but if you're not getting, you know, I'm just using this as hopefully somebody's probably gonna get mad from this conversation, Kareem. Somebody's gonna get upset for our conversation. I'm just letting us know. Somebody's gonna get mad at one of us about this. We just putting it out there, right? So, you know, it's like if you're gonna pay for an event, then you've got to be able to at least be able to get some leads that are gonna help your business. Is it speaking to your expertise, like you said, not just an opportunity to get on stage and change your message? That was one of my biggest things, was trying to figure out what is my message. And that's kind of where finally, after 15, 16 years in this thing, want to be dope. Like that's it. Like it took me this long to get here, but it's like that was my thing. Okay. And you, like I said, you can encompass different things into that, but that's it. Being unapologetically great at being you. That's what it's all about. And I forgot where I was even going with all this. So, you know, but so make sure you're getting, you know, something's gonna benefit you, leads, or are you getting professional photos? Because I know that's a big thing when you're a speaker. Are you getting professional video to show you on stage, especially now that we're coming back out of COVID? You know, it's time to be seen on stages now. So are you getting that kind of stuff? So when you're evaluating opportunities, you know, you got to know that it's going to be something that's going to benefit you, and it's a win-win, not just you're paying money to an event organizer who's taking all the money they're getting paid, and you're just like, oh, well, you know, you got some flyers to put on your social media. So how do you evaluate speaker opportunities for yourself?
So number one, I want to look at the value of the opportunity, meaning not all opportunities are good opportunities, right? And if I'm secure with myself and my brand, and most importantly, I know my value, then that means there's certain opportunities I will turn down no matter how good it sounds. That's a good opportunity. It's not good for me. And I should always be in growth mode, which means the opportunity I took last week, next year, I probably won't take it again because I know where my level of growth is taking me to. The biggest complaint I get is someone will bring me out, they'll like me, they'll pay me my fee, and then the next year, like, come back, yeah, but my fee's gone up. And they'll be a little upset. I go, but my value keeps going. It's always increasing, right? I'm always in growth mode. So I want to be clear, number one, about the value I bring to the table. What I see with a lot of folks in the speaking industry, they don't know their value. Because if you knew what you was actually worth, we can use this like in the dating perspective. Like everybody has played that game, and I don't know if I can include you or not, because I know you married, you off the market.
I mean, I've dated though. I had to date to get married, you know.
There were some people after the fact, you go, they never should have got my phone number. Like if I think about that, I never should have spent that money on that dinner. Like they wasn't worthy of it. When I know my value, I can assess the opportunity and say this is not a good opportunity for me. Because some opportunities will actually drag you and make you look worse than if you just shut it down and say, no, I'm not going to do it at all. So the very first thing, and this goes back to that GPS concept of putting the address in the GPS. When I put an address in the GPS, the address doesn't change. The GPS is still trying to get me there. But if I forget where I'm going to, that's how I get sidetracked and stop at the donut shop. I stop at the mall. I stop at all these other places. That's not your destination. So I want to be clear on where I'm headed to. And if I'm clear, that means I'm only accepting opportunities that are in alignment with my divine assignment. If it doesn't line up, I got to let it go. If the connection doesn't line up, I got to let it go. If the friendship or the mentorship doesn't line up with where I see myself in the next 3 years or 5 years, I got to let it go. I can't keep sidetracking myself. What I do see is this though, Ryan. I see that people get comfortable with their own comfort zone, which means if I'm an open tier speaker, I hang around other open tier speakers because we all have the same things in common. And the problem with that is if they're not growing and I'm hanging around them, what happens? I'm not growing. Birds of a feather flock together. So I got to be willing to fire people on my same playing field and hang around people that's doing greater than me, because the way to grow is by hanging around people that's going to stretch you outside that comfort zone. One last thing I'm going to say real quick. The comfort zone to me resembles a casket. And every time I've gone to a funeral, respect to Big Mama and all the folks that's in the casket, I've never looked at the casket and said, damn, that looks uncomfortable. Like she looked like in like 3 days she gonna get real stiff. You know what I'm saying? The casket is lined with nice little quilted fabric, posturepedic, and I go, why does it look so quilted and nice? Because they not gonna be flipping over and turning over in the casket like you're getting a good night's sleep. They gone. Right? Not trying to be disrespectful, but it's the truth. And so when I look at a comfort zone, the reason I say it's a casket, because caskets only hold one thing, that's dead things. And if I'm not careful, I can hang around in a casket or a comfort zone around people that's not trying to grow themselves. And then that's how I miss out on growth opportunities or opportunities that take me to the next level. So I want to be clear on who I'm hanging with in this industry. Absolutely.
Awesome. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, hear from some people who are supporting the show, sponsors, and partners, our partners, and we're going to get back because Karim dropped something real quick, and I ain't gonna let it slide by. He kind of slid in there. He got paid $20,000 to speak for 90 minutes. If you are a speaker or an aspiring speaker, we wanted to ask him, how is he getting $20,000 to speak? So we're going to talk about that and then get into some other stuff as well right on the other side of this break. You listen to Born to Be Dope, or you're watching, depending on where you are, with Ryan C. Greene. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Ryan C. Greene. Thanks for tuning in and listening to this week's show. Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. Listen, I want to help you keep the conversation going and giving you the opportunity to join our Born to Be Dope Cypher, our exclusive Facebook group. Go to www.borntobedope.com. At the very top, you'll see a button that says join the Facebook group. Click that button, go ahead, enter your information, and you'll get access to our free online Facebook group. In that group, we have so many bonuses. So we keep the conversations going from the shows. We have our live shows that broadcast there. So many people to network with, and every week we raffle all free Born to Be Dope gear for all the new members who joined that week. So go ahead to www.borntobedope.com, click the button, join the exclusive Facebook group so we can have more interaction, keep the conversation going, and you might just even win a free Born to Be Dope shirt. Hey, did you know that Born to Be Dope is more than just a show? That's right. Born to Be Dope is a movement. It's so many things outside of just the show. We have the clothing line. We have the show. We have the book that's coming. But we also have the feature film and the live summit. So if you're a speaker, an expert, an author, you have a message that can help people master, magnify, and monetize their unique dopeness. If you have a message that will resonate with people on how to be unapologetically great at being them, and you want to share the stage with some of the top influencers and speakers at our live summit that's going to broadcast to millions of homes, then go to www.borntobedope.com. Look for the info on how to join the next summit, our next casting call. Casting calls are going on right now for our next one. You don't want to miss it. Listen, if you've already been a part of one, you can still join us for another one. If you missed out, you thought, I'm going to wait to see what this Born to Be Dope thing is all about, now you realize you want to jump on board. Listen, there's still time. Just go to borntobedope.com, click the button on how to join, get the information on our casting call. We look forward to working with you and helping you share your story. Hey, are you looking for dope t-shirts? Specifically Born to Be Dope t-shirts? Listen, go to www.weardopetees.com. You can see our entire line for the Born to Be Dope apparel. We have t-shirts, we have sweatshirts. We're designing new stuff that's coming soon. So go to weardopetees.com. You can rep the brand that reps you. Get your shirts, get your hoodies, buy one for a friend. Go now to the website. You can see all the new gear that we have and go ahead and rep the brand that reps you. Go ahead and order your shirts, order your t-shirts, and then make sure when you wear it, you tag I am Born to Be Dope on any social media so we can go ahead and recognize you. So go and get your shirts, go get your gear at weardopetees.com. Welcome back to Born to Be Dope. I'm Ryan C. Greene. I forgot off the top to let you know this week's hoodie, dope. Let me get right there, dope AF. You can get all the fly gear I wear on the show at weardopetees.com. That's weardopetees, Tees.com. Go and get yourself, rep the brand that reps you. Go get some Born to Be Dope apparel. Shameless plug. All right, so let's jump back in now. Karim, you are a speaker's coach, and I love that you mentioned how many that you've been coached. It's hard to be a coach if you haven't been coached, or been mentored. And you talk about $20,000 to speak. Now I know people are listening. Oh, I want $20,000 to speak, and it takes a special kind of person to get to that level, $20,000. So before we get to 20, let's go to the very beginning. What was your first paid speaking engagement? Wow. Do you remember how much you got? I do. And how that came about? how much did you want and how much did you get?
Wow. So at that point in time, I was so desperate to speak, I didn't care what I got. And this is how you can tell you love to do something. Like, you can tell you called to something, because typically you'll do it for free. Like a lot of these NBA players, they play for all this amount of money, but I promise you, like, if they had to play for nothing, some of them would play for nothing because they love the game that much. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going to do that because they know what they were.
Not for long, but yeah, I get you saying though. Yeah,
you would do it typically for free, right? There are people right now at a job busting their tail, working more than 40 hours a week, and the reason why you're doing it because they're not paying you what you actually work. The hours aren't the best, but you're doing it because it's in the field of what you love. What I talk about is how do I take what I love and take my gift and talent and then step outside and become the entrepreneur. So I'm no longer hollering out shotgun, but I got the keys, because the person that holding the keys controls the vehicle. The problem with most of us, we take our gift and talent and we get into the passenger seat. So whoever's driving the car dictates what happens on that journey. And I go, no, you need the keys. So my first speaking engagement, they paid me $500. I traveled 4 hours to get there, right? Renting a car. So you got $500, take away the rental fees. So $120 gone just like that. And then I got a hotel, but the hotel was so cheap, it had bed bugs. I couldn't get my money back off it. So I wasted $100 on that. And so by the time I got back home, you got to take $500 minus the $120 minus the $100 for the hotel fee. So I did it for a little less than $300. I spoke for an hour, but I spoke in front of, I want to say about 80 people, give or take. But I spoke like it was 8,000 because I love to do it so much. But the problem was I didn't know my value. So I was undercharging myself because I believed that I actually thought I was worth less than that. That's the problem. Most of us don't know our value. Right. And so I was okay with that when I really should have been charging more, or that would have been one of those where I shouldn't have went out there at all, but I didn't know any better. Yeah.
Awesome. So you go from that. I'm trying to think. My first speaking engagement, I remember it, the first paid one. It was at church, and I read about this in my. I think I wrote about this in my book. If I didn't, I'll talk about it in my next one. But I remember I had to catch the bus. I was in a bad situation at that time. I caught the bus to the engagement, and they gave me $200, man. $200 for that first gig. And before we get to how you got to the next level, because there's a lot of people right there who like $500. That's all I'm trying to get. I'd be great if I had $500. And you talk about speaker hoeing, but there's also a desperation level that a lot of speakers get in in the beginning. Either they don't know how, either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about setting proper fees, right? So, you know, we get into some coaching now because we're going to talk about your speakers program as well, people coaching program. But fees is one of the biggest questions that I always see come up is how do you charge a certain amount and the importance. I'll start with sharing why I think it's the importance of having a proper fee. But I want you to talk about how to determine when you're ready to charge certain fees. Because I think that with anything, when you're a service provider, if you get into a price war, if you're not charging what you're worth, you're not charging value, if you're always giving discount, bottom, basement bargains, you're messing up for everybody. You're discounting the craft of what we do, the skill of what we do, and the work that goes into it. So yeah, when someone comes and says, well, I charge $20,000 to speak, and they say, well, such and such is only going to charge $500. That's a big gap, but there's also a big gap in what you're going to get, right? So talk to us about building that fee as a new speaker, how to determine what you should be charging, and then how to, you know, gradually move yourself up, because we know today's price is not yesterday's price.
Totally in agreement with you. So one of the things I tell every speaker to do is you want to hang around a community of other speakers, especially speakers that are better than you. Why? Because in conversation, you're going to follow, he just got paid $5,000 to speak for an hour. And I was cool with $500. Now, what I would have to do is assess and say, and I'm not being cocky when I say this, because a cheetah knows he can run 70. I'm a cheetah, so I know I can run 70 miles per hour. So I can look at a speaker and say, are you a better caliber speaker than that person? Yes or no? So if you are a better caliber speaker, you bring more value to the table, and they got paid $5,000 for what they did, you got paid $500. There's a problem here. You can run just as fast as them, if not faster. So that means it's the me problem on what I see my value as. This is why you hang around other people, or you get mentors that can tell you your fee should be going up. So one of the problems I had though, Ryan, is I wasn't doing a good job of branding and imagery. Right? In other words, if an event planner has $10,000 to play with, and 10 people say, I want this speaking gig, right? That event planner is going to do their homework and figure out who's the best qualified person for this $10,000 check. Why? Because if I give you this and you bomb, it's not only on me, but my higher up's going to say, you took $10,000 and gave it to this person. Like, we trusted you, and this is what you brought in. And so I tell a lot of speakers, one of the reasons why social media proof is so important, because no one is going to give you a $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 check without test driving the merchandise. Event planners look to see, is there imagery, is there videos, are there testimonials that show that you are the bomb.com at what it is you do, that you're one of the best out there what it is you do. If you can't show that, then you're going to have a hard time getting that package to be open. And I don't care how good of a speaker you are. There's some point in your journey where it's not just about your message, it's about the imagery the message is wrapped up in. And so for me, I have to do a dramatic shift on that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so rich right there, because, and that's really why I've shifted in the services I provide and on into the visual media aspect of it with the video and stuff, up in not just my video presentation game, but also providing it for speakers in office, because listening to mentors and coaches, I know the same thing. People want social proof. They want to go out there. First thing they're going to do is Google you. Yeah. And if they don't see enough good video of you to show that you, I tell people this is how I tell them. When people look at your content, when they look at your videos, the question shouldn't be, how much are they charging? It should be, how can I afford to pay this person? Because your stuff looks so good, you know? So
you spot on. But this is why I tell, if you about your business, your prices shouldn't even be on your website, because they job to look and go, this is the person we want, but can we afford them? There's a job, because I got JMT DNA inside of me. I know a lot of speakers do. I came through JMT like 2014. But there's a leadership.
What's JMT for people who don't know?
Okay, so JMT stands for John Maxwell Team. So I've gone through the certification and training for that as well. But there's a principle that I love, man, that says leadership, influence, opportunity. And so my interpretation is a little bit different than everyone else's. Leadership is influence, influence is opportunity, which means that number one, my job as a speaker is to be seen as the world as a leader in this particular direction, this expertise. The more the world sees me as a leader, what I talk about, what problem that I solve, because money's the reward for solving a problem. That means my talk, my message has to solve a problem that everyone has. So as you see me as a leader in my expertise, now I start to have influence. That means you get up every day checking my social media site. You're getting value out of my video clips. You're on my Instagram. You're watching my reels. And the more influence that I create, because influence affects decisions, the more influence I create, then the more opportunities I manifest. The problem most people in the speaking industry starting out is they get up every day looking for opportunities. They go knocking on doors, and they got that backwards. My job is to be seen as an expert, as a leader that creates influence. And so now opportunities start to look for me. That 20K gig, I did not solicit to them. I did not market to them. I did not go after them. They said, you are the person we want for this opportunity. We've studied, we've done our research, we've done our homework. We know we want Dr. Karim to keynote this event, right? But I've spent years creating the imagery, the brand, and doing the homework, doing the work, right? To create that leadership, that influence, and now opportunities pursue me.
All right. Awesome. So let's talk about the type of speakers, because you and I kind of talked before we went on air. There's a lot of different kinds of speakers. People think that everyone's the same thing. You're on stage, you're a motivational speaker. Like, I've never called myself a motivational speaker. I've never been that. I'll motivate you. I'll get you and, entertain you, but I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm more of a motivational trainer. Like, I train, but in a keynote, not even necessarily keynote, but I'm a trainer at heart, point blank. What would you consider yourself, and then talk about maybe some different styles of speaking or types of speakers, so people kind of can hear where they may fit in, and maybe some. I know it's like a triple loaded question, and then maybe some which lanes are best suited for that kind of speaker.
Gotcha. So I always started out as a keynote speaker, and then I added training and coaching to that. Right. So training and coaching originally was in corporate America. So I was mixing the two together. And then that just kind of took on a life of its own. I do believe as a speaker, it's great to be able to speak multiple different languages, to be fluid in being a keynote speaker and also being a coach and a trainer. Because if you have a topic you talk about, the way you monetize it to the next level is, can you coach and train on it? Do you have a program for it? Right. A lot of people just have keynote messages, but that's where the magic stops, because you get booked one time and that's it. But do you have a coaching program or a training program that revolves around a book or a concept you talked about? Because if you do, we may license that from you. We may bring you back in and have you talk to 50 of our locations specifically on this training, right? And so as a speaker, one of the first things you got to do is figure out what type of speaker I want to be. And I'm not talking about motivational or inspirational or leadership. There's two lanes you fall into. You are either a seminar speaker or you're going to be a corporate speaker. Corporate speaking is pretty simplistic. You have a message and a topic that corporate America needs to hear. There's only a couple of topics corporate America wants to hear. Usually it's going to be leadership, it's going to be motivation, inspiration, it's going to be customer service, it's going to be sales, it's going to be creativity or innovation, or it's going to be what I call a niche topic, which means it may be something specific like diversity. Right.
That's real hot right now. Right.
Yeah, something like that. And so if I'm a speaker, then I want to know, am I more of a corporate speaker? And corporate is great because corporate has a budget and they're going to cut you a check for that amount. You show up, you drop your gems for an hour to 90 minutes or workshop, and then you go home. If you're really good, they may refer you to other locations and bounce you around that way, or they may bring you back in to do some corporate training. But seminar style is where a lot of speakers I see now fall into, which is the events that pop up in Texas, that pop up in Atlanta, that pop up in LA, where you go on a flyer with about 10 other people. Right. And you have this expertise you talk about, you get out there on stage for 40 minutes to an hour, you drop some gems, but the goal for you is to transform the room, but you have a product or service you sell in the back of the room, right? Because that's how I'm going to get monetized. With seminar style speaking, unless you have built your brand up, most seminar events are not going to pay you. Not like corporate. Seminar is going to bring you out. Their job is to pack the room full of people. There's usually a joint venture agreement. My job is to make sure we got 300 people in the audience. Your job is to get out there and sell. If you have something of value, we'll do a joint venture split. So if you have a $4,000 coaching program, we're going to split it 20-80. Right? I get 20% of the take for setting up the event. You get 80% of it. So that's how that's made up. The reason why that's important as a speaker, most folks don't even know how they're going to monetize their message. So how can you walk forward and be successful if you don't know where the money's going to come from? I'm a Christian individual, but God didn't give me this gift and talent to be catching meals and giving them away for free. Like my utilities and bills and my lifestyle ain't based off me doing stuff for free. So I want to be clear about that as a speaker. What lane do I fall into? Because based on that lane, that's how I'm going to build my brand.
Awesome. Now talk to us about your academy, the GPS Speakers Academy. How do people, what would a speaker get out of your program? How can they look to get started with you?
So our program originally was 90 days. We had to push it back to 120 days of intensive all in because 90 days wasn't enough. What you're getting in that program, you're getting my 2 decades, my 20 years worth of experience. And yes, I have been in this industry for 20 years. I swear I don't feel like it. Like I've been in so many places and spaces, whether it was nationally or internationally, but we go through everything. The reason why this is so important, a lot of programs in the market focus on one thing, which is tell your story. I'm gonna be so clear when I say this. I'm gonna lose some following. I'm gonna lose some friends. Some folks gonna be mad at me. But I have never been booked to come out and got paid a really, really good fee because they wanted a storyteller. They want an expert to come in and solve a problem. The story is what you use to help deliver the medicine, which is my expertise, right? And so that's the problem I see with a lot of people. They sign up for these storytelling boot camps, but they can't find speaking engagements. One, because no one is booking you to tell your story, unless it's nap time at the kindergarten, at the kindergarten class where you give them a story before, nap time.
We know they ain't paying.
And they ain't paying nothing, right? So I want to hear about that. And then the stories I tell gotta make sense. Like, there's a lot of great storytellers out there, but why would corporate bring you in there to talk about that? Like, how does that story anchor to what it is they want from you? And for those of you guys that didn't catch it, I gave you a hint of what corporate America is looking for. Like, I gave you a quick rundown of what they want. So if your message in some way, shape, or form don't connect to that, you have a hard time getting booked and brought in because they're not interested in anything other than that. It has to make sense, right? Yeah. And so in this program, we go through everything. We go through how to take your story and properly anchor it to one of those expertise levels that corporate America is actually looking for. We talk about how to properly brand yourself, how to properly market yourself, how to actually find paid speaking engagements. So you're not out there speakerhorn. You're not out there paying $1,500 for a 20-minute stint on somebody's virtual platform, because once that virtual disappears, you may not ever see that again, right? Now, I'm not saying that's bad, but a lot of people will go through that route, but they still don't know how to get on paid stages. And then they get frustrated and then throw in the towel and they go and they dream. So we talk about how to find that stuff. We talk about the mechanics of the speaking business, because yes, it is a business, right? Most people treat it like hustle, and that's all you get out of it. So we go through everything. You get my 2 decades worth of experience where I cover everything from beginning all the way to the end. But most importantly, you walk out there with a shortness of, this is what I need to do to actually get on stages, right? Now, if you want to turn this to a full-time career, you can do that. There's going to be some sacrifice on that. I promise you that. That's why it's so far and few in between that folks actually make a successful career out of this, because it does involve sacrifice. So we even go through that. I give everything that I've been through over 20 years, including what was my blueprint and game plan that got me out the 9 to 5 and doing this full-time. We cover it all.
Nice. So a couple things that I want to really touch on, because once you've been in the game for a long time, I think you look at stuff differently. So for me, and obviously you, when you see certain things, it's kind of like, you get to, I don't know. Here's what I'm gonna ask you. What I feel like the one thing I've not seen mastered enough yet, and it's probably hurting a lot of people. A lot of speakers in our, we're in personal, well, I'll speak for myself. I'm in a personal development space. Yeah. So it's a lot of people who want to talk about purpose and passion and things like that. And they're coming from church.
Sure.
So you got to, and I'm a Christian. I'm a very spiritual person. But I want you to kind of give a golden nugget to those who are spiritually based, how to take a message that may have a spiritual foundation, but then take that to a corporate event, take it to an association, and still be an expert without being seen as a preacher at a corporate event.
I love it. And I love that question, because there's a lot of people that I've coached and trained, and they got that spiritual background. And they go, off the bat, you have to understand that I would never tell someone to throw away their spirituality. If you look at my speaking style, depending on what clip you catch me going in like a pastor. I got that little anointing on me, but there's other styles where I'm not. I got a multitude of different speaking styles, right? Do I still speak spirituality in the workplace? Absolutely, 100%. It's part of me. A lot of my messages have spirituality around it, but I have to understand, how do I deliver the message in such a way that the world doesn't get offended? We live in the world of cancel culture, where everybody is so woke and they're immediately trying to cancel you for this and cancel you for that. And so most event planners, when they go to book a speaker for corporate, that's one of the prerequisites. Are you going to come in here and start preaching to our group? Because I don't want to be in HR with a bunch of people saying, you forced me for 3 hours to sit down here and learn about Jesus. You said that I'm Buddhist, right? Or I'm atheist and I don't believe in it. And so what I'll say is this. One of the things we teach inside the organization, GPS Speakers Academy, we talk about how to take that message and deliver it in such a way that you don't set off the radar, the bells and the whistles. You know, when I was a child growing up, Ryan, I couldn't stand cherry cough syrup. Like, I can do every other cough syrup except for cherry. That's the one flavor I could not rock with. And I remember being sick as a dog, coughing and wheezing, and my mother's like, it's like 8 feet of snow outside. I'm not going out. All we got is cherry, so this gonna have to work. And of course, she knew I was gonna spit it up. And so what she did was she took the cough syrup, put it on the spoon, and instead of just telling me to open my mouth, she said, here comes the airplane. And I'm watching like, okay, where's this airplane going? Duck is going over your head. It's running out of gas. It's got to land. Open your mouth. It's got to land. And in my mind, I'm thinking, but it's cherry cough syrup. The plane's gonna crash. And before I know it, Ryan, my mouth is open. The cough syrup is halfway down my throat. and I can't spit it out at this point in time. So I'm like, it's still nasty, but the delivery was so good. I got it. You ain't gonna put it off again, but it was so good. And so the problem with speakers are we're message bringers. Our job is to give you medicine, but we have to be very, very clear and calculating on how we land the plane. The problem most people is open up, I'm gonna give it to you, and that's rejection. So I give a lot of spiritual-based messages, but I have learned the art of how to cloak my message around the right delivery style, and so no one in the room is offended, no one's getting up and getting angry. Folks who get up in the room that are Christian go, oh, I know where that came from, I know that scripture.
Yeah, absolutely, they know.
Folks that's not Christian, but like, but that was very powerful. Where can I learn more about that? Oh, you really want to know?
Right. Let me tell you when you get off. Right.
You leave out of here, I got you. Like, give me your phone number. I'll text it to you, right? So I'm gonna make sure I'm safe off the ground. But it's that. Now, if I'm a speaker, I'll throw this out there also. I have to be very careful with that lingo all over my page. Some people gonna I don't want to deny. I'm not telling you be Peter. You're not gonna deny Christ 3 times for the cock crow. But what I'm saying is this, is if you have a spiritual-based message, your job is to get the message heard. And you can't be heard if you're not in the room, right? So that means my website, I got to be clear about the lingo that I use on my website. I see a lot of people taking pictures inside of churches because that's where they speak the most. That if you have that on your website and the event planner's looking, they're not going to book you. You got to be very careful with how you deliver some of those things on your page you're being booked from, because in this day and age, if they think you're about to come out and preach, you're going to be in trouble. Now, there's been clips of me online in front of corporate America where I've gone full pastoral mode, but I'm going pastoral mode on the message that I'm teaching, not on Christianity or religion. So I can still use that delivery style and hammer the point home, which means I have to be in control of my delivery, right? But that's the main thing I would say right there. If you're Christian based, you don't toss it over your shoulder. You figure out, how do I dress it up in such a way that I can land the plane without offending anybody in the room?
Awesome. I love that. Y'all want to get more on how to do that, make sure you go and get with the GPS Speaker Academy. So listen, before we go, I got cards, man. I got my own cards for the show. Like, I love it. Got notes, got note cards.
There we go.
But it's time to get into some hip hop, bro, because that's what we do, hip. So we call this, what should I call this section? Should I call it Cypher? Should I call it freestyle? I don't know. We're gonna call it the Cypher for now. But anyway, it might change next episode. Y'all don't know. But send me in the comments what should we call this segment rather. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, Karim. I just want you to go ahead and answer them. All hip hop related. And I say hip hop, I mean not just rap music, but we're talking about hip hop culture. I mean, it's a lot of R&B, neo, so that's all hip hop to me now days as well. So whatever your answer is. So let's start with when was it, or how did hip hop impact you and your acceptance of being dope as a person? Like, what impact did the culture or the music have when you say, you know what, I rock with this, and this moment, this song, this movie, whatever it was, spoke to me, and I'm dope.
So I'm old school hip hop. I know we got some folks here that's younger, but I go back to Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One. So nice. I go back to where it all hit ground level. And the message back then was so pro-black and proactive, and it was so much support around it. We know a lot of the message nowadays is definitely not that. We know the industry has done that intentionally, not accidentally. But what I've learned from hip-hop is that delivery style is what gets attention, right? And so as a speaker, my job is to focus on what I know that works. Even when it came down to the utilization of money, let's be real, there's a point in time where rappers were flashy and showed they cash and showed their success. I'm going to be real. I do a lot of that intentionally as well, because my job is to get all eyes on me, because once you're watching me, then the message comes through clearly. So right. I think that hip hop has affected me in such a way where I understand the messages carry weight. The music has rhythm that entices people, but it's all about showmanship. The best MCs in the world know how to be masters of showmanship, would put all eyes on them. We know some folks that had some great bars, but had little to no showmanship, and they got passed up. So for me, that's how I viewed hip hop growing up, which was your job is to draw all the attention on you and then maximize it while you have time. Because let's be real, some of us don't have longevity, some of us do. My job is to be one of them MCs that's around for a long time.
Right. No one hit wonders.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that answer, man. I love that answer. All right. So who is your hip hop spirit rapper? Well, I know people got spirit animals. Who's your spirit rapper that you like? You know what? if I were a rapper, if I was living this rapper's life that they portray in their music or whatever, that's me.
This may come off cliche, but I gotta say Jay-Z, but I gotta say it with the timestamp on it. I ain't talking about Jay-Z with the locks and stuff.
Not the Basquiat Jay-Z.
Yeah, I'm talking old school with the fitted brim. I'm talking that version of Jay-Z. I'm talking the blueprint version of Jay-Z. So I would go there, but I'll stay in that lane right there.
All right, cool. Why him?
Well, this is the thing I learned by watching Jay-Z. No one ever saw Jay-Z being where he's at right now. No one saw that. I don't care what anybody says. No one saw him taking the crown away. Now, we can argue about who's the greatest, but in the realm of success in the industry, no one saw that. All eyes was on Tupac, all eyes was on Biggie. And when both of them passed away, there was a void in the industry, and no one saw Jay step into that lane. The moment I saw him do that, when he successfully crossed over, and the crowd started having everybody in the crowd versus just African Americans in the crowd. And I don't care what anybody says, if you want to be super successful, your job as a speaker is to create a message that impacts the entire world, not just people that look like you, not just people that think like you, not just people that come from your side of town. If you're here to build a legacy, it's impossible to build a legacy without affecting all people. So my job as a speaker was always to have a message that crossed boundary lines, that crossed color lines, that cross thought lines, that cross religious lines. My job was to drop gems so powerful that they would become universal, and universal things last long after we leave, and that's how you create legacy.
Awesome. I love asking this next question because especially in the era of social media, we're constantly in a comparison mindset. So always looking at other people who may do what we do or do what we want to do and comparing ourselves. Negatively and positively. What was that moment when you realized you were dope? Like doing what you do, when you said, listen, I'm Kareem. I see the Kevin Durant. I'm Karim effing Ellis, you know?
All right, we can rock with that. I was in a relationship with somebody, and it was the day after my birthday a few years ago. And I remember clearly because we got into an argument. This person was extremely narcissistic, and I didn't have narcissist training 101, so I ain't know about breadcrumbing, I ain't know about gaslighting. But that person looked me in the face and said, you are not the best motivational speaker I ever heard. And I was in a relationship with that person. It affected me because for someone out there in the world who don't know you to say that to you, you're like, all right, I don't know you. But when someone in your campus hating on you, it draws something different, because you'll start to think, well, maybe I'm not that good because they know me intricately. And that night at 3 o'clock in the morning, God woke me up because he was playing with my mindset. And God said, I need you to go into your social media right now. And I go to my social media, and what I'm looking for, just look over all the photos you posted for the last 10 years. And I'm seeing all the places I've been at, all the platforms I spoke on, all the stages, all the places. And then God says, go to your YouTube. I go to my YouTube. My YouTube has over 200 video testimonials from folks that heard me speak, whether it was event planners or folks in the audience saying, my God, this guy's the bomb.com. He did X, Y, Z. Then he says, go to your emails and take a look at all the folks that reach out to you saying, you transformed my life. You helped me at a moment where I was going to commit suicide or whatever have you. And the message I got from me is the same message I'm going to share with someone else out there. Never let anybody gaslight your greatness. Never let anybody gaslight your greatness. It was crazy how that person said it, because even with my tour in the industry, how long I've been here, we're all susceptible to that. Right? Yeah, Jesus was betrayed by Judas. Judas walked with Jesus for 3.5 years. He watched him raise people from the dead. He watched him walk on water. But it was inside camp work that tried to take him out, right? The problem with most of us, the enemy doesn't use outside people. He uses people inside that we are cool with, that we believe we're close with. And what I didn't realize was there was a spirit of jealousy with that person. When you walk into your gift and talent, the problem is a lot of times you'll outshine people accidentally. Like, you're not trying to do it. But if God gave you the gift and you got that gift in the right environment, because fish are not designed to swim everywhere, then you will outshine people not even trying. And that's what I learned from that relationship. I was outshining that person using my gift, not using gimmicks, not using smoke and mirrors. I know some speakers out there that want to do the Airbnb or act like they doing X, Y, Z. It's like, you not, because once you train to do this long enough, you know how to look. Like, that's not you perfect, right? But the idea was never to let anybody out there gaslight your greatness. Whatever God has given to you, your job is to run with it. And you are going to lose people along the way on the journey. Just because they helped you pack a bag does not guarantee them a ticket on your flight.
Man, metaphors. Or was that a simile? I don't know. Who's my English? Metaphors, similes, idioms. I don't know, whatever they call. Listen, man. Well, last question I asked you, what are you listening to now? What's getting you pumped and hyped right now?
What's getting me pumped right now, man? I'm still working on the Black album. Like, Like I'm that guy, man, where I hit that season, where I hit that one track, and that's my go back to, man. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still a Black Album guy, man. I'm still doing Jay-Z Black Album. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of talent out there. I just feel like with hip hop nowadays, there's something missing. Like it's so commercial at this point in time that they more focus on dropping anything over a wild beat, and they not focus on the words. Because at the end of the day, if you strip away the music and you listen to the words, do the words have substance? And as a speaker, my job is to give messages where if you take away the ambiance, you take away everything. We black this screen out right now, and all you can do is close your eyes and hear my voice, that the words have substance. And I think that's the thing that's missing in hip hop. So for me, I'm one that goes back to some of the greats, because a lot of those tracks, they drop the timeless, but I'm a Black Album guy. So if I'm going through my mood, if I need to prep to get out there on stage, that's what you're going to hear me bumping before I go out there. I'm an encore guy.
Awesome. Listen, Karim, this has been a great conversation. I want you to go ahead and share how people can follow you after today's show, how they can work with you and all that good stuff, and what's on the horizon for you, how they can get your book.
So with the book, what I'm gonna do right now with the book is I'm gonna do a giveaway, and the reason I'm gonna do a giveaway is in honor of the sequel to this book is on the rise, right? So we know that this is the best seller on Amazon. We pushed this book for a long time. GPS My Success. For folks that listen to this Born to Be Dope podcast, and if you within, I'm gonna say 24 hours, we put a timestamp on it. If you connect with me on my IG and say, hey, I heard the Born to Be Dope, or I saw the Born to Be Dope, no matter where they saw the medium at, and I want to get a copy of GPS My Success, let me know. But make sure you quote that you saw it here. Right? Shout out to know who was tuning in. I have my team get you a free e-copy of this, and the reason why I'm giving it away, because the sequel to this is coming up hot and fast, man. Empowered to Drive, what gear are you in? I told myself when we did this book, it's going to be a trilogy. So the second part we're working on coming out the end of this year, but you can't get into the second part unless you have gobbled down the first part, because it builds off this game-changing book. So go to Instagram, connect with me, follow me, let me know you saw me here. We'll get you a free copy of GPS My Success. The next thing on the horizon for me, I think I may actually be in I think it may be Atlanta. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be a Mother's Day event going on. I think with Ashley Montgomery's having something going on. So I think I may be at her Mother's Day event, dropping some gems there. And then after that, I believe JJ Conway has some stuff popping up as well for Juneteenth. I think it's a Juneteenth celebration going on. Those are open events to the public. I don't want to drop corporate stuff. You got to be part of the corporate team. And then after that, brother, we got plans to go and speak in Dubai in July. So we're going back out. Oh,
nice. Awesome, man. I got to get over there. I got to get there. Everybody seems to be going over there. Seems to be one of they just have a different level of opulence over there, man.
You can't go over there, bro.
Yeah, right. So it's gonna take me a little longer before I get over there. But listen, man, this has been great. You said reach out on Instagram, but I don't think you gave the Instagram handle. So give that out.
I'm glad you caught that. So the Instagram is Karim Ellis 2.0. Karim Ellis 2.0. And for folks that's interested in the Speakers Academy, just shoot me an email at coachme@KarimEllis.com. What I'll do is I'll set up time for a 15-20 minute consultation, let you know about the program, and then you can let me know where you are as far as your speaking career and what you want to see happen out of it, and let's see if we can make some magic happen between the two of us. So coachme@KarimEllis.com will get you locked up.
Awesome. Sounds good. Listen, folks, you have, if you didn't get something out of today's show, then you just wasn't even trying, right? So I want to thank Karim Ellis for joining us for another episode of Born to Be Dope. Look, like we do every week, we're going to go ahead and ask him to stick around for some bonus content that we're only putting in our subscription portal. So if you follow us on Fanbase, you'll be able to get this info. Make sure you join the Facebook group, Born to Be Dope Network. But other than that, listen, I'm Ryan C. Greene. Want to thank you all for tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe, share, tell someone about this. Leave a comment if you listen to the podcast. All that stuff helps. Listen, we have the power to promote our own media, our own messages, but we've got to do it. Just don't listen to it like, oh, that's cool. Hit the button, do something, share it, so we can go out there and grow and get these positive messages shared more frequently. So listen, go out there, be unapologetically great at being you, because you born to be dope. Peace.
This is the illest rhyme I ever wrote. Said I was born to be dope. I dream big like my visions were projected on the movie screen. Beach side staring into watercolor bluish screen. Muscle with the hustle, turn my dreams into reality. I'm my ancestors while there's dreams on the balcony. Scribbling notes into the margin of my composition. But what's next? Master efforts for my ambition. I failed to step back but kept pushing. Reinventing myself, establish a better footing. Fall down.